is so uncharacteristic of Arsenal, but that is such good news for Bournemouth and the chasing pack.
I cannot believe what I've just seen. That is an incredible mistake from Gabriel.
Here's Nonny Madueke. Way beyond Semenyo, still going Madueke. It's wonderful work from Nonny Madueke. Martinelli blocked and fired home by Gabriel. Excellent atonement from Arsenal's number 6. Gyökeres, has he gone in behind here? Senesi recovers. Here's Odegaard. It's Rice! It's ruthless!
This is good from Gyökeres. Strength, making life difficult. But how about this for awareness from Odegaard? And there's the pass. Passes it into the corner of the net. Gives the goalkeeper no chance.
Timber. Odegaard. Slides it in for Saka to get on the end of it. It's Rice again! Another second half show of strength from Arsenal. Declan Rice at the double.
That explosion of pace is what does the goalkeeper, it's what does the defender. Petrovic almost thinks he can come and get that, and then he doesn't, hesitates, and the damage is done.
The final whistle goes, and Arsenal win again. That is their happy habit. Starting a new year as they ended the old one. Mikel Arteta celebrates a cushion at the top of the Premier League, which is now 6 points strong.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Real Arsenal Talk with Larry and Stevo. Apparently he doesn't like Stevie. We had a whole chat about this. We had a team meeting and the boss said you can't call him Stevie anymore. That's just not his rightful name, so you have to go with Stevo. And how do you feel about that?
I'm all right, lads.
We're going to have another meeting about that. We're going to have another meeting about that, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Why do you call me Vo?
What? I'm not going to call you
My sister and his son call me Vo. As in Steve, but Vo. Because you said Stevie. Steve Vo. I like it. Let's do it.
Can I just call you Evo instead?
Evo. As in like the Mitsubishi.
Yeah, I'm not going to call you Evo. I'm not going to call you Lancer. I'm not going to call you any of that stuff. All right. I'm going to call you Stevie. Yes. By the way, Stevie. I don't care what the boss says. I don't care if we get sacked from this podcast and the production team, gets rid of us. But it's happening. Anyways, once again, we are joined by cheer and joyfulness. on this episode.
Absolutely.
Once again, right? I feel we've already been spoiled in 2026. Let's just end it now. The season is over. We have won. We are champions at the halfway point. Something we haven't said in a long time. Now, let's bribe the Premier League and the rest of the teams. Let's just end it now. Thank you very much. We'll absorb the 115 charges from Man City just to take one of the titles. But there you go.
Yes, please.
Bournemouth. We played them. I think that happened. That was the thing that happened, and. It was good. It was good. We saw onto it, and we decided that it was good. So, for moments, it was good, Stevie. But what did you make of the overall match before we delve into it?
Okay, mate. Okay, Happy New Year to all of our listeners out there, and to you and your family, Larry Hagman. Fantastic, mate. It was a fantastic game. I know we had the Villa game. I'm not really bothered about that one because obviously it was fantastic, the scoreline. But yeah, just dive straight into the Bournemouth game, mate. But second half, first half,
real quick. On the Villa game, I forgot that happened because it's like I was drunk after watching that match and the win, and then obviously City dropping points a day or two after. That was the cherry, really. I think the Bournemouth match, like always, we always kind of struggle against Bournemouth, especially one half of a match. We always struggle against them. Last season especially, mistakes happen. They push us a bit too hard physically as well, and mistakes happen. But anyway, sorry to cut you off. Just wanted to say Aston Villa, screw them. And
absolutely wankers. Yeah, 6. So what we were saying, so the Bournemouth, fantastic second half. First half probably was a bit nervy. Obviously lineups will go through, but yeah, I thought a masterclass from Rice was the difference again, which we will probably talk about. But yeah, good second half, dodgy first half, but very athletic team, Bournemouth. I do like them. I like the way they play. It's very exciting. They're always going to concede, but fantastic going forward. They've got some good players. Some probably I think would do well for us. But yeah, great performance. 3 points was all that mattered, as is any time of any game. Is 3 points. That's all that matters. I couldn't give a shit how well we play. Villa was brilliant second half, and yesterday, tricky away game, tricky place that we've lost. We've lost the last two, haven't we? I think they beat us 2-0 away. We got Saliba sent off last season, and they beat us 2-1 at home, I believe.
Did they beat us 2-1 at home? Oh yeah, they did, yeah, because it was that run where we were just like, all right, we've given up at this point. So
yeah, we had,
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think at that particular moment, Liverpool were probably 10 points ahead of us, or 12 points or something. So yeah. Anyway, that was last season. But again, as we said before we jumped on, there's a lot of stuff being corrected. There's a lot of history being corrected, especially this part of the season, because we were always good. We're always a very good team up until now, really, and then it all goes to shit. So, but yeah, I feel like especially that the Villa game was probably a turnaround for me, because again of what happened at the beginning of the month. So after that, I'm a little bit more confident in terms of our championship run. And again, obviously, City dropping points on both in the last two matches. That also helps. But yeah, against Bournemouth, as you said, they have got some good players. They've got some good players. They've got a very good manager. Someone who I know we've discussed as a potential replacement if it ever gets to that. But yeah, look, let's start with the lineup real quick, because I was a little bit surprised with the lineup, in all fairness. It didn't seem like a Mikel Arteta lineup, did it? It seemed like someone had just, tortured him and handcuffed him at the fucking basement of the Emirates. Like, you cannot put on Saka.
Yeah.
So I was very...
It had nothing to do with it, obviously.
No, at all, by the way. Yeah, it was nothing. Yeah, he was...
He does occasionally listen to this podcast, but...
He does. We do help him. Our points of view, he respects.
He comes to us, this pod, for advice.
Exactly. Even though he doesn't message us, directly, because that would just ruin the illusion. He's always here, and we're always providing help to him. So, but yeah, look, I thought it was surprising that Saka didn't start. As you probably did as well, because it's not because of his performances, or it's just because of Arteta's stubbornness to always use Saka even when you shouldn't really. So yes, Nonny was on. I thought, I'm just jumping ahead real quick, but I thought Nonny had a brilliant game overall. Obviously there was ebbs and flows and stuff like that, but I thought overall he was absolutely brilliant on that right hand side, and even to the point where the commentator was saying the same thing. It was like, this is something different that he's providing Arsenal. He's fearless almost, and it's stuff that we've already talked about, so I don't want to delve too much into that particular thing. But yeah, Nonny was brilliant, and obviously we had Rice baby. He was back, and
yes, baby.
What a difference that guy is, by the way. Just unbelievable. And for me, though, the biggest surprise, and I have to say, was probably the lack of the Eze inclusion. We say this, we've been saying this for the past 3-4 weeks. There's something going on there. We said the same thing about Nonny, but then obviously he comes on and then performs very well. But obviously, he's never going to take Saka's space, so that's probably just, a one-off, really. But I mean, yeah, look, we've talked about it, but let's just chat a little bit more about it. No, as what we thinking? What we thinking, man? What's the conspiracy theorist saying out there?
Because, well, I think we might have sort of discussed this a month or two ago about Arteta can't get it wrong when he's got so many good players now on the bench. I still don't think he knows strategically what he's doing when he's swapping the teams around, like obviously the players around. So he's putting Madueke on yesterday and he put Martinelli on. I don't think them two were the right choice. Personally, I did think that Trossard would have started, and I thought it would have been the same team with Saka on the right, and like you say, Trossard on the left, but he changed it up. And like you say, Madueke, I do think he's got a lot more to give sometimes than Saka. I'm not sure what your thoughts are on that, but I do think that Madueke, I was talking to the father-in-law today, and we discussed Saka, and he likes Saka, blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, as we study him, weekly, and I think he said that Madueke was very direct, and I said he is. I said he is better than Saka. He's more direct. He can take players on. He's got a bit more trickery about him. Whether that's just people getting used to Saka and they understand his game, and obviously Madueke's kind of new. It's like, oh, he plays for Arsenal now. I don't know, but sometimes I just think Arteta kind of throws these random players on like Martinelli and Madueke away from home, which. I don't think it's a good thing to play them away from home personally, because there's more pressure. I don't know. I really don't know. But I think he did the right thing with Madueke, because I thought he had a great 50, 60 minutes. I think he took him off, didn't he, about then. But I think Martinelli was very poor. That was one of his worst games again. So I'm not sure what goes on with that. But with regards to Eze, like you say, conspiracy, I don't know whether, is he teaching him a lesson? Is he saying, look, you've got to prove to me that, he can work as I having the flair? Because he would start in virtually any other Premiership team, probably barring City. You'd probably start, wouldn't he? Be a starter, definitely. But is it a conspiracy? Has he ever fallen out with Arteta? Is this something not right about we've always said about his kind of laid back attitude? He has got that in him. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, that laid-back attitude should really work in his favour, to be honest, because, that's what makes him the good player that he is. There's no point tensing up. And again, it goes back to the argument of changing players and the way that they play and the reason why you bought them. And the reason he bought him was because of the way that Eze plays, right? He wasn't some 17-year-old or some 16-year-old from an academy where he was like, right, I will shape him into what I want him to be. No, you already bought a Premier League proven player. That he was there for the taking. Yes, I'm glad that we jumped in and got him, but we need to utilise him more. And the fact that, again, it just seems like he's changing the mentality of Eze, and I'm not really caring for that, to be honest. It could be punishment. It could be saying, look, I've asked you to play one way, you keep doing it your way, and I don't like it, so I'm going to have to bench you. It could just literally be as simple as that. I hope it isn't, because what is the point? What is the actual point of buying players if you're going to change them? And especially at this age, right? At the proven age that they are. Again, academy players, that's fine, whatever. But I don't know. Nonny scored 2 goals against Bruges, and he was benched for, up until this match, really, wasn't he? Yeah. So, did Nonny do anything wrong? Unless there's something going on in the training ground that we don't know about, then that's fair enough. But I don't know. Then going back to what you're saying, throwing Nonny and Martinelli away from home. I like it. I like it because it's something different. It's a bit ballsy from Arteta, right? Like you said, a bit too much pressure on those players. Maybe they're feeling it. They're like, okay, we need to perform because we've been given a chance again. Because Martinelli's losing his place to Trossard. There's no real shock or surprise there, is it really? Arteta's actions speak louder than what he says. So, and obviously Nonny's never going to get the chance again to sort of replace Saka, unless Saka's injured or tired or whatever. But so I like it in that respect, because it just gives something different to us. And it did. Yesterday Nonny was, because Martinelli, he didn't have a very good game at all, to be honest with you. I think he had maybe one chance or something.
He had a chance before Gabriel got the equaliser.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but because it was that insignificant, I didn't even write it down in my notes. But so for me, Nonny was a very good addition. Trossard would have been more than brilliant in that role, in his role against Bournemouth. I thought again he probably would have had a better game than Martinelli and provided a little bit more to Gyökeres as well. But apart from that, there was no real surprises in the lineup. The sort of the back line picks itself. At least 3 of them pick themselves, and then Nkapie will have to slot into the left back because Calafiori's not ready to come back yet. So, but yeah, I mean, look, Gyökeres started. Did you expect that? Would you have rather had Gabriel Jesus from the start?
I think something's going to have to change. I mean, I think there's a lot of people realising what we've been saying about the York and about. I think at one point, I think there was a still picture of the 5 defenders or 5 players from Bournemouth around York before Rice's second goal. His first goal to make it 2-1. There was a lot of players around the Yorkers, and I think people are forgetting how much and how many players he takes, and the work that he is doing is unbelievable. Whether he should have started, whether he should be starting games or not, but I think we've spoke about it before, that the drop-off and the pressure that gets brought back upon us when he comes off is kind of evident, and I think the coaching staff and the manager need to be aware of this. I just think it's evident in the last 4 or 5 games that as soon as he comes off, the overall sort of dynamics of the team and the match is kind of is swung into the opposition's favour. I know he come off about 65th minute again, and it seems to be this worrying trend that as soon as he comes off, the opposition seem to gain a foothold in it. And I know we're away from home, but even at home it seems to happen. So was I surprised to see the York on? No, but like you say, we did well. We got the 3 goals while he was on the pitch. When we conceded.
Yeah. And again, when he came off, it was that shaky period that we always go through. And I think the second goal, their second goal came around that time. It was before his change, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see what you say. I see what you mean. Even from the last pod that we had, you mentioned this, and it was kind of evident in the Bournemouth match, especially like you said when he came off, because what he does, and we said this from week 4 or something like that. After watching him play, we were just like, this is what this guy does, and that's still, by the way, that sort of encapsulates exactly what he's about and what he's been given to our team. 5 defenders around him, obviously managed to get a foot in there. Maybe got a bit lucky with the little deflection to sort of. To go into Odegaard's path and then into Rice, but hey, I don't care. He was there. He was in that position. He made it happen. He ran behind. He forced himself in there. And
Jesus wouldn't have had them players. Havertz wouldn't have had them players. Marino wouldn't have had them players. That was purely down to the York and his determination to be bring defenders and
to be an absolute beast of a striker. And again, it's just the goals right now. But look, it's not justifications, it's not excuses we're making for him. But again, he's providing something to the team now. Which is exactly what we want from him. Well, obviously we need goals as well, but at least someone else is scoring, right? But we're scoring more than 1 goal per game, which is good. But yeah, with Gyökeres, I'm with you really. There's no real surprises in seeing him start because of what he does. There was a chance that he had early on. He sort of ran in, but the ball was literally stolen from his foot. Like they just sort of pocketed the ball away from him. Like, oh, we'll take that. It's like, come on, mate. I know it's the 7th minute, but the match has started, so please wake up.
Yeah.
He takes a little bit longer to get himself going. He's like a diesel engine, isn't he? Yeah, he warms up in the winter. So
I think he had 2 chances. He had 2 headers. I know we haven't spoke about it, but against Villa, he had 2 headers. One over the bar, probably should have scored, and one where he was running it near post and it missed by a couple of inches. And then luckily it didn't come back to haunt us, but they were 2 clinical chances that you'd expect someone to score. Really,
especially like him, especially someone like him and he's good in the air as well. Or most of the time he's good in the air. But that first chance that he had where he took it over the bar, it's like, come on, man, your head is too square, mate. Like maybe you need to trim your sides of your hair and make it more. He's gone back to
doing that as well, hasn't he?
Yeah,
which I think
is that his superpower? Is that his super? Oh,
I don't know. He needs to put some more
oil or something.
VO5 on it.
Oh, really. Maybe less.
It needs to be stuck in place because he keeps doing that, and it's like it's distracting you, and you look nervous every time you're touching it.
Yeah, he's got like a little hair in his eye. And it's like,
Superman
come on,
flick,
man.
Innit?
Yeah, exactly. Come on, dude. You are the York. You're not Superman yet. But right, okay. Look, first half, then that thing happened in the 10th minute, which was it's like he was possessed or something. Like I don't know what that was about, because you think, oh, well, you'd expect Saliba to be there. But no, you wouldn't expect Saliba to be there. Saliba was exactly in his position. You know, you can't expect Raya to be there. So who was he passing to? Like, you know, ghost. He was passing the ghost Gabriel. It's like, dude, you are Gabriel, right? There is no Gabriel behind you. You are the guy. There is no ghost, okay? That was such a weird moment for him. I don't know. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think this is part of the reason why I'm a bit concerned with Gabriel. I don't like his left foot, and I've watched him. Obviously, I do study it, so it sounds pretty square and anal, but I do study the way people pass the ball and how they use the feet. And it never looks comfortable. It's always, every time he hits it with his left foot, he always seems to slice it slightly, even when there's no pressure, and even when it goes to one of our players. When he passes it, it's always got that curve on it. He's not a natural footballer. I know that sounds stupid, but he's okay when he's playing it to the left because it's curving into play. But when he passes it across the goal, because obviously he's left full back, when he's passing it to Saliba or to Timber on the right, I always think it curls the way he kicks it. And that, to me, that pass was never on, especially with the way he kicks the ball. Now, he redeemed himself massively. But if we'd have gone a bit 5-10 minutes longer without equalising, that kind of could have come back to haunt us. Now, I know he's fantastic. He's a great defender, great in the air, bullish, everything. But, you know, what can I say? People are saying, oh, he's the best centre-half in the world. He ain't. He's good.
He's a very good defender, right? You can't deny that.
But his feet don't make him a world-class defender to me. Everything else about his game, he's aggressive, he's strong, he's committed, everything that you want in a defender. But there's just something about his left foot I don't like.
He reminds me of David Luiz in his prime, because he was a very good defender, David Luiz was, but then he had some crazy mistakes in him. And when you compare him to Saliba in terms of footwork, Saliba's footwork is just pure magic sometimes. You think that's some Zidane stuff.
He's calm, isn't he?
That's some Zidane-esque touches, man, and you're a defender. Absolutely. So, but I know what you mean about Gabriel. Yeah, sometimes it can get a bit nervy, especially if he's like running towards goal with the ball, sort of thing, and he has that in him to sort of miscue a pass or miscue a kick, and that's all it takes. You know, in the Premier League, that's all it takes, and you've got, you know, they're pressured constantly, so there's no real getting away with it. But then this time proved it as well. You know, Evan Nilsson slipped in there, boom, gets a goal. So
and Raya's a mile out of his goal.
He was, but the thing is, with David Raya, like, again, I know what you're going to say, but at the same time, you can't really blame Raya for that mistake from Gabriel. You know, that's a split-second thing, and because of the way that they're pressured, Raya didn't have enough time to sort of, you know, to react. And when it comes to reaction times, he is one of the best out there, right? He's had some of the best saves in Premier League. Well, in the Premier League this season, so because of his reaction times. But that was obviously up to Gabriel, and like you said, minutes later he absolutely made up for it, and it was just brilliant. But before that Nonny run was even better, to be honest. That Madueke run before it, you know, sort of slaloming across, just unreal.
He should have scored, man. I mean, as much as it was a great run, he went for power, didn't he?
He did.
In the top corner. It would have been a beautiful goal and might have cemented his place, you know, for a start against Liverpool, who knows. But yeah, it was a good night. It was a nice run, and obviously shows what he can do, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, and again, it's that unpredictability of Nonny that we like as well, and maybe the way that he's been used is probably more useful to us now, you know, because of, you know, the difference that he provides when it comes to again, you know, what different to what Saka provides. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Jesus, but yeah, I don't think he's going to get that start against Liverpool. Does he deserve it? Absolutely deserves it. But maybe we just, you know, maybe Saka could be the guy. I say that tongue in cheek, really, because you know, what are the chances that he's going to step up properly against Liverpool? But anyways, so yeah, that goal. And overall, to be honest, in the first half, I liked. You know, we were quite strong. We had control of the midfield. Odegaard had a very good game as well, I thought. Yeah. Rice again, very good game. Zubimendi just back to his normal self, really. Again, I've noticed about Zubimendi that sometimes, he has some mistakes in him as well, but
he does.
We haven't seen it as much, but you think, oh God, the split second later, that ball would have just, someone would have stolen that from you. So I hope he calms down on that stuff, but overall, as an overall game, I thought he was very good again. He was basically doing what Odegaard was doing against Aston Villa, sort of dropping back, picking the ball up in between the centre backs and just slotting into that position. And he's good enough with his feet. He's got a good vision about him, especially just to get it to just Odegaard or Rice to and then them finding other players. But one thing I did pick up though for the formation, I don't know if you did. We had looked like a 3-5-2 formation, sort of when we were defending. It kind of obviously we had Nkapie, Gabriel, and Saliba at the back. And then we had a 5 in the midfield. And then what I saw was basically Odegaard and Yok being the 2 up front. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Gyökeres more than Odegaard, but those are the 2 that I saw. I mean, I think to be honest, sometimes you think, 3 centre-backs, maybe a bit negative. But I don't know, I just felt like that kind of worked because we had 3 very good centre-backs. Do you know what I mean? Like, we had very dynamic centre-backs in Gabriel and Nkapie. And Saliba is our rock at the back, really, isn't he? Like, he doesn't do what Gabriel does, as we've talked about before. But I think that was quite interesting because, again, the way that he uses Timber just slots and then absolutely no problem whatsoever. He's in that position. And this is the thing that we praise Arteta, is like the players that he has brought in, they are very dynamic. But sometimes, you just need like a specialist. Do you know what I mean? But I just thought that was quite interesting as a formation, really. Whether that's something that it's new, I don't think I've seen that before. In terms of this season, I don't know about you. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it. I don't know. But I liked it anyway. I thought it worked. It was quite balanced. But when it comes to Odegaard pressing, he doesn't really press, does he? He just sort of dances around.
Does that?
Yeah, it's like sidestepping. Hey,
I like the what you're saying about the 3-5-2. I do like that formation. I think I've said it before in the past. It would be nice to kind of flood the midfield, because against Villa, I thought the first half we were overrun, completely overrun, and I think I sent a few texts to you, didn't I, saying we're going to lose this game if the midfield isn't tightened up a bit, because they were just cutting through us like butter. But no, I do like the 3-5-2, and I think at one point Timber was further forward than Madueke, and it was like, fucking hell, what are you doing, mate? Get back, you need to defend, if they're catching the break. But luckily we got away with it. But I do like the 3-5-2, and it just gives a bit more solidity in there, and a bit more, like, I'd have liked to have seen Eze in there at some point. But for whatever reason, like we say, we don't know why. And, I know there's a long way to go. There's a load of games. There's the Champions League. There's the FA Cup, Carabao Cup. He will get his chances. And I think it'll be one of those, go and show me what he can do today. I don't know whether Eze's got, I don't know, we're getting back to Eze again, but whether Eze's got this chip on his shoulder, I haven't got a clue whether there's been a fallout. But the 3-5-2 would be nice if Eze was in there, because he is, like you say, that tricky, creative, maverick type player that we would like to see. But whether he's not putting the effort in, we don't know. Time will tell. I just hope there's no fallout. But
I hope not, to be honest, and because it'd be a shame, really. It'll be a shame for both club and player that if a fallout's happened, and again, especially this early in his Arsenal career. But again, it's Arteta, innit? So I'll never be surprised if it came out that they've had a fallout. Now it's like, all right, yeah, it's just Arteta doing his dumbness. But yeah, look, we, even though we were playing well in the first half for the majority of it, we did drop off by the last sort of 5 to 10 minutes. We didn't really drop back as such, but it was very like, okay, we're ready to finish this half now. And I hate that attitude when we play, because just fucking end it. Just put the knife in the fucking back. See you later. End the match. You know what I mean? There's no reason for you to sort of drop off this early. Again, if it was like a minute to go, fair enough. But for 5 minutes, that's a lifetime in Premier League terms. So yeah, it's something that I hope at some point we're gonna have to get rid of, because it's that ruthlessness that we need to be on, because City clearly, they can't really maintain that ruthlessness, or they haven't proven in the last 2 games. But that's why this is the time now for us to step up. This is it now. There's no other reason. Like, in 2 games' time, if City have caught up, it's like, well, what the hell are we doing here? And this is something that we're always afraid of. But yeah, so, and before we end talking about the first half, there was that very last chance, almost the last kick of the game, when Odegaard had the ball. And again, all I've written here was Ode dancing around, wasted opportunity, not good end to the first half, because he passed it out and then nothing came of it. And it's like, well, you ran across the whole length of the box and you didn't do shit with it, and then you passed it out to the wing and nothing happened, and that was the end of that. So
it was just, you were probably crying out, shoot for fuck's sake, or just do something with it. It was just it just fizzled out, and it was like so deflating.
Yeah, dink it in or something like that, So, but no, that didn't happen. But yeah, look, any other things that you want to add in the first half, for the first half? From the first half?
No, I think we sat it out, and it seems to be our the norm, where we kind of get us to half time, and it's a completely different second half. It's like we suss the opposition out, like we have done against Villa, against Bayern, Brighton, whoever, but we've sussed them out, and the first half kind of ended, like I say, on that Odegaard nothingness really.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really it, mate. The first half. Second half, obviously, as you know, it was a lot better.
A lot better, and it felt like Rice was probably the one giving the speech in the changing room, to be honest, because the way that he came out, absolutely, the only thing was missing was the guns. He came out blazing. The only thing missing was the guns. So, yeah, I think there was an interesting comment from the commentary where he said this is like the golden hour, or the golden moment of Arsenal.
It always seems to be was it 45 and 60 or
That's
45
right.
and 55 or something like that. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So that was quite interesting that he said that, because again, it's something that we've talked about, but again, nothing too deep into it. But it's stuff that's being recognised and stuff that's being picked up. And yeah, it is that time of the match where we come out from a changing rooms, and then literally something has changed. So and again, in this instance, Rice was was brilliant. Odegaard pass was brilliant, and the Gyökeres push through was absolutely fantastic as well. So it was a very team goal overall. But Rice, as an individual player, I mean, what's a fucking guy? What a player he is. And I know you've changed your mind from the beginning, because I know we've got recordings of you saying, is he worth 100? I know we do. Don't make me clip it up, Stevie, all right? So I really hope...
He's worth 80 at the moment. He's working his way up to that 105 million. Look, if we win it, I'll say he's worth 200 million if we win the Premiership, because he's contributed so far to us to where we are. Like you say, he's without a shadow of a doubt. Timber was the first 10, 15 games player of the season.
Yeah.
Rice is now way ahead of him. So if we win the league, he's worth every penny.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the perfect time for Rice to step up, isn't it? Like, it couldn't have picked a better time. It's like, thank you, Declan. You have, and again, it goes back to that captaincy talk where it feels like he has taken the team on his shoulders, because Saka was injured for a bit. He hasn't been firing that much. Odegaard obviously was injured. So those are your senior players. Outside of those two, you've got Gabriel. He was injured for a bit as well. So it's like, who else is going to take charge? Trossard, stepped up a little bit, and then Rice just took over. So and I'm glad, because these are two players, like Trossard and Rice, they're very good contributors to our team. But yeah, Rice is just head and shoulders above all of them, really. And that price tag, like you said, it could be worth 200 million by the end of the season if we win either or. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, they're saying about the Odegaard pass, great vision, but I don't know. I mean, did you make anything special out of that? I
think Rice said, didn't he? Said I shouted I shouted to Martin to pass it to me, and it was a nice little layoff. Don't get me wrong, was it?
Yeah, for sure.
No. It wasn't fantastic, was it? It was just
Not to take away from the goal, right? Oh, what a great vision from Martin Odegaard. It's like, it was good, but if he shouted...
The pass to Zubamendi against Villa was a nice, neat
that was
ball.
Very
that was
good,
perfectly weighted, but that one was just, there was no one near him, so all you do was just lay it to his side and Rice was running onto it. Yeah. Yes, it was nice, it was weighted nice, but it wasn't like a defence splitting pass that who scored today. I was watching the Borough game, sorry.
Okay.
No, but yeah, no, it was okay, but Rice had to be there, but again, it was the York taking all the players away to give him that space. Yeah. So, I think it was a very good team goal, particularly from Gyökeres. I know we was trying to defend him, but he did the job of taking. I mean, because you can imagine if he gets one-on-one in that position, he's putting it in the back of the net.
Absolutely,
and the defenders know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why there's 4 or 5 around him all the time.
And you literally took the words out of my mouth, because I was going to say the one person I will praise more than Odegaard is Gyökeres, because he did the absolute hardest work. Yeah. He literally just created that space. Like without him doing that run, doesn't matter what pass Odegaard would have done. It's a battering
ram.
So yeah, he was brilliant. And the fact that Rice shouted to Martin Odegaard to pass the ball, it sort of takes a little bit more away from the pass. It's like, well, you can't be like you didn't know he was there because he shouted you. So, and that actually makes sense at the celebration. I don't know if you noticed it, but then you could see Rice pointing and shouting to Martin Odegaard. He's like, Martin, doing this and pointing to him.
You saw it,
yeah. So that makes total sense.
Are you on TikTok, by the way, yet?
No, I'm not on TikTok, Stevie. Do not push your TikTok agenda on me.
No, I'm not. I've just obviously, before you said to me, send me over this video that you'd seen, or I don't know, whatever, and you said you'll see if you can see it, because obviously I do shot some TikTok clips on there. I video the game as such as I'm going along, and I put it all together and I post it. Just a bit of interest for me, really. Just thought if you could see it, I clipped that up when he was doing that, and obviously I clipped a bit of where he went and came and kissed the camera. Really good.
That was really good.
You can't watch it.
No, I mean, you're going to make me do it. If you open up a Real Arsenal Talk,
I think I have actually. I think there is one there.
Okay, if it is Real Arsenal Talk, then I will sign into it, but I will not create. I will not put my government name in no TikTok.
I know what you mean.
But you obviously, it does help. I totally understand that. You can't take away from what it does. But yeah, look, sorry. Going back to just Odegaard in general, he was playing a lot further up in this match, and again, it shows when he's got the backing of Zubamendi and Rice behind him. He's a very, very good, very tidy player and a very creative player as well. So I'm hoping this is Odegaard, sort of back to his old self, back
to his 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, back to his 2 seasons ago with the extra 2 players behind him who obviously are having a very good season. I really hope this is everything clicking together, to be honest with you, mate, because I love this Arsenal team, and probably one of the best Arsenal teams we've seen in a long time, really. Since the Sanchez days. For me personally, since the Sanchez and Ozil days, this is one of the best Arsenal teams that we've ever seen. And I'm really enjoying...
Could you imagine Ozil and Sanchez in this current team?
Please stop it.
I know.
Stop it. I mean, it could be the part of the. Actually, we should do something like that, shouldn't we? Like, the best sort of team of the last 2 decades.
Yeah, mixture. Yeah, pick a team. Yeah,
because I would enjoy that, to be honest. But again, that's something we can talk about off air.
Yeah,
and so for me, Odegaard, again, when he's clicking, everyone else is allowed the freedom to click around him, and I think that's what happened with Rice, to be honest. So, 65th minute, changes came. 3 heavyweights came on. It was Trossard, Saka, and Jesus, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So heavyweights came on, and I had a smile ear to ear, by the way, when I saw those 3 players come on, because I was like, oh my God, we have a bench. Like, this is good. I really like this. And, they came on. A few minutes later, Rice does what Rice does and scores again. So... Right, 3-1 there. Saka, again, very good, very, very clever play from Saka. He didn't... I have
to say, again, He must have listened to this pod.
He has to.
Because we've been saying it. He lacks football intelligence, but yesterday, he used his brain. Instead of shooting, he passed it.
It was unreal. I think he watched Nonny throughout the first half. He was like, very, very good. This is what Nonny's doing, so I'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
And it works. And again, it goes back to what we've been fucking saying for how many episodes, this season. It's like, he doesn't need to be the star boy anymore. Just appreciate your teammates, appreciate that they can finish a job. That's it. Just be part of it, right? No one's going to take away from Saka and be like, oh, fucking hell, they only won the league because of Rice and Gyökeres and Odegaard. No, they're going to be like, Saka won the Premier League. End of, right? The end. Full stop. Move on. So yeah, I like that. But okay, even though I liked it, I still didn't like how much the British media and the commentators were like, Saka with an unbelievable play. It's like, any winger who's half decent would have done that, right? Just relax.
Saka comes on. I think Redknapp was on about it at the end. Oh, he creates so much havoc.
It's just,
what?
Stop. Nonny created havoc.
Yeah, I know, he got past. It was a nice pass by, was it Timber, I think, or was it Odegaard that laid it through? I can't remember now. It was Timber or Odegaard, one of the two. And he came through. Yes, he was quite quick, but he should be in that position anyway. And he ran through, and I thought, to be fair, I don't know about yourself, initially I thought, it's gone out of play. I thought he's not going to make it.
Yeah.
And luckily he did what he did. I thought, don't shoot, and he laid it back, and it was perfect.
Yeah, but, it was a perfect pass. Don't get me wrong, but like, let's just let's not get carried away with everything.
That was all
else.
He did. Didn't do anything else.
Yeah, I mean, but that was you're right. And the fact, Anyway, look, we've said what we need to say about Saka, right? So that's fine. But 3-1, and I'll be honest, at that point, I genuinely thought that this was going to be it. We're probably going to get another goal, and just the way that we were playing with a lot more freedom, And but after that, I felt like the closing stages of the match were very, very nervy, and it's sort of not what we usually do, because we would have, if we did what we usually do, we probably would have been drawing by the time the end of the match came. But again, very nervy, and I don't understand why we need to drop back so much and why we need to allow so much pressure. When we were on top, it's like, okay, you take a couple of minutes breather, that sort of thing, but then you go again. There's no reason to sit back. You need the goal difference, you need all of that type of stuff. So I don't know. I mean, what do you make of the closing stages and obviously their equaliser?
I mean, the second goal, because it went. Look.
Second goal, because it was 3-2.
I mean, obviously, we can keep saying it, but coincidence or not, Gyökeres wasn't on the pitch, and they got their second goal. So, it's something needs to be looked at. But to be fair, it was a great goal, but it seemed to be we lacked. I didn't really rate Trossard when he came on, to be fair. I thought he was very weak. I thought at some point we're going to lose the ball, and he was hanging on at the ball. And this is my argument with him. He's great at home, great going forward, but defensively away from home, he's too weak. He's not strong enough physically. And we were just getting ourselves, all muddled up. And is that because we haven't got an outlet with Gyökeres? Because Jesus, as good as he is, running with the ball and control, he's not that physical battering around like Gyökeres. And I do think sometimes that is now on the player's mind. We don't have an outlet ball. But don't take anything away from Krupi's finish, because it was a fantastic shot. I mean, could Reyes have done better? Probably not, because he saw it really late. But it was a great shot, and then that obviously was in the 77th or 72nd minute or something. It was 77th, was it? 77th?
Yeah.
77th minute, yeah. So it was a bit of a nervy 15 minutes. I mean, we might have had a few chances after that, and I think we controlled it really, because I think they took a couple of their players off. I think they took they took Evan Nilsson off, or Cliver. I think they took one of the two forwards off. And the players that they put on, I think it was Krupi and Unal, they weren't pressuring as much, and I think that they might have took a midfielder off as well. And like I say, I think they lost their midfield, and it gave us a bit more momentum and a bit more stability to sort of see out the final 10-15 minutes. And I did think Semenyo, I know he's probably on his way to Man City, but I think he's got Arsenal in his heart. There was a couple of times he was a bit shit, and I thought, that's not like you, Semenyo, you're better than that. And I thought, is he just doing it because he loves Arsenal? I don't know what your thoughts were on it, but when I saw some of his touches, some of his passes, some of his shots, I was thinking, you've got your heart still in Arsenal.
Yeah, he didn't have his best game, did he? We could say that, at the very least. And actually, they took off at the same time. They took off both Evan Nilsson and Kluivert, so they did make the changes. And then obviously Krupi came on. Cook, again, he came on. He's not a bad player, to be honest. But yeah, that goal from Krupi was excellent, to be honest.
Nice shot, yeah.
And the scoring from the outside,
wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think, and again with Raya, it's like, fucking, sometimes from the outside, dude, you get beaten too easily. But you're right, you saw that too late for whatever reason. It's irrelevant, to be honest. But
you saw.
Well, it wasn't.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
I think you saw Rice shaking his head quite a lot at that point. It was like, we're cruising, we're 3-1 up, and now look what's just happened. And he's probably thinking to himself, Jesus, what? I'm running my socks off. Sometimes, I sometimes when I used to play football and I used to play this, that, and the other, and I used to think, I'm running my socks off, I'm scoring these goals or whatever, and I've got a couple of players that are not pulling the socks up, or they're not good enough, basically. And he might be thinking that. You don't know, do you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't blame him. Sometimes the way that some of our players actually play. So and I don't want him to get disappointed, because there's only so much that he can take as well. And that if the worst happens and we don't win anything, I won't be surprised if someone else comes and gets him. Man United would 100% pay a lot of money to bring him into their squad. So let's hope that it doesn't come to that. But yeah, it's stuff like this that really just from happiness to like, oh fuck, I can't believe this is happening. There's not enough of a cushion for this to happen at this late stage in the match. So, and luckily, obviously the way that it played out, fair enough. We managed to hang on, I guess. But just on wrapping up the second half. What did you make of that whole thing at the end with the ref blowing early or late or whatever? Like, what did you make of it?
Well, it's what was it, 4 minutes or 6? I can't remember. Was it 6 minutes?
Do you know what? I don't even know how many minutes it was. Let me have a look whilst we're doing that.
I think it's. They always say this, don't? I think Man City against Sunderland, there was a bit of controversy there. They blew 3 seconds before the 4 minutes or something like that, and I think it was a similar sort of thing. I think there was 6 minutes, but at the same time, it's up to the referee's discretion. To be fair, though, the ref had a fucking stinker. I don't think he favoured Arsenal one bit. I think he was all for Bournemouth. It was one of the games where I thought he's going to come back and be a cunt again, like he was when we played Brighton and he sent Rice off. I thought he's going to be absolute twat because he was given fouls for them and not against us kind of thing, when it was clearly our free kick or corner. Or I mean that time when Jesus was going in the corner in front of obviously our supporters, he got his leg pulled up in the air and the ref gave it to Bournemouth, and you're thinking, fucking hell,
I don't know
what are you looking at.
I don't know what the hell he was watching there, to be honest. He didn't have the best of games, but I mean,
he was a twat.
So it was 6 minutes added on, right? And he blew on the 97th minute. So
their argument was the fact that because they had a
right.
I mean, that's because Semenyo he threw it in, didn't he?
Yeah.
Semenyo, and I don't know if it was Saliba or whoever headed it away.
Yeah.
And the ref blew then. So what? They're going, oh well, you'd always wait till the last attack. No, it's entirely. I'm glad he blew it.
Yeah.
It's entirely up to the ref. It was 97 and 30 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, it was well over a minute. It was well over a minute and 30 seconds of the actual additional time. So yeah, I didn't see much wrong with it. But at that time, I had my little boy on me, so I couldn't actually see what was happening. I thought someone had pushed someone, and I thought there was a penalty shout, and I was like, please no.
Yeah.
And he was feeling the stress on me. He was like, Dad, don't worry. He obviously didn't speak because that's just weird for a 4-week-old. But yeah. And then obviously after I watched it, I was like, hell, they're complaining about this. Well, you should have done this 2 minutes ago then. So yeah,
Argy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't.
With the Argentinian Gabriel at the end.
Yeah, I didn't see much anything with that at all, to be honest. But yeah, we won in the end. 3 points is ours, and obviously after what happened, let me try that again. Hold on, let me use my words. Rewind. After what happened with City today against Chelsea.
Fantastic.
Yeah, just a great way to end the holidays and the great way to end the weekend. So, just
for everyone who doesn't know the City score, they were winning 1-0 till the 95th minute, and Enzo popped up right at the very end.
It was beautiful
and got a lucky equaliser for obviously Arsenal. So we still 6 points clear in exactly the same goal difference.
Yeah, well, I don't care about that. And people are posting up the Chelsea record and going, oh, fuck it all, Arsenal going to not beat this. Like, who gives a shit? Who cares? I don't care if we end up in minus fucking goal difference. As long as we win the league, I don't give a flying toss.
What are we on now, by the way? Have we conceded 14?
14 now, yeah. So one more, and that's us.
Yeah.
But who cares?
No. Once that's gone, I'm glad, because it's like, it's nice while it's lasted, but
it's fine. It's fine.
Never going to be beaten, probably.
Yeah, it's a long season, and we don't play like fucking like Chelsea do. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they used to anyway, parking buses and stuff. So let's just move away from that. As much as people want to put Arteta into that sort of haram ball or defending or whatever, Arteta doesn't play like that. And at the beginning of his tenure with Arsenal, he had to play like that so he can actually teach our defenders how to fucking defend. And he bought new defenders. so yeah, whatever. I don't, like I said, just it was just more trivial more than anything else. But do you have anything else you want to add for the match? By the way, should we do the categories?
Yeah, no, mate. Let's move on.
Let's do some categories, my friend. Categories. Okay, go for it. It is
poor.
Okay, can I go first on the poor? And I think I know. I think I know who you're going to say.
Okay, go on then. You go first. How many players are you in your poor category?
Poor, I'm probably just going to put one, to be honest. One player.
Yes.
I'm not including subs. Yeah, I'm not including subs, by the way, but I only have one. Okay. And I think we're both going to agree it is Martinelli in poor. So
yes, 100%.
Just wanted to beat you to that, by the way. Look. Let's have a look at some real stats real quick for Martinelli, and one blocked shot, which was one shot inside the box, and to be honest, it doesn't look very good for him. Accurate passes, 13 out of 18, but they were mostly back to Rice, and sort of there was no real progressive passes. Accurate cross, it's poor reading, and it goes to what we've been saying. He's not a starter. He's not a starting left winger. Like Trossard has kind of disproven that theory a little bit, but I think it's probably because Trossard has no choice. It's like, well, if Martinelli's not good, then I have to be good because there is no one else.
Yeah. Do you think, just quickly on those two, do you think one is going to get sold and one is going to stay? I think we're going to. I don't know whether it'll be January, but I think in the summer, I think we're going to go all out for a quality left winger, and I think one will get sold. Don't know who, maybe Trossard because he's a bit older, and Martinelli's the understudy. But I think one of them's going to get sold in the summer.
I don't think Trossard will get sold. I think he'll just sort of walk away.
Run down his contract.
Yeah, just finish his contract and go elsewhere and retire. Because again, I'm guessing these are conversations that have already been had. But Martinelli, as much as I don't really want to see him be sold, I feel like he could do his career a lot of good as well. Like honestly, I've always seen him in an AC Milan shirt. Like always. I don't know why. No other team, just AC Milan. I think he'll do fantastic there. But who do you bring in? Like, if someone like a Semenyo, for example, is gone, again, we will have a discussion about transfers in later episodes. But
yeah, a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, if someone had to be sold, it probably will be Martinelli because it's just monetary.
He's got a higher value, hasn't he? I think.
Monetary value for sure. Even though I don't want to see that happen, but there you go. Right, okay, next, go for it. Categories.
Okay, so a bit controversial. I don't think you'll agree with this one, but I've gone for sort of poor stroke good. So he's just a bit above poor, and he's just a bit below good. I thought Zubimendi was quite average, personally, yesterday.
Okay, I can understand that. He didn't have, again, like a scintillating match or anything like it, but he was very, very efficient in that midfield, to be honest. He a couple of mistakes where, again, like I said earlier, where it's a second later or a sort of a foot here or a foot there, that's you've lost that ball and that's the end of it, to be honest. And sometimes when he was picking up the ball from the centre backs or from the goalkeeper, again, you just think, right, why are you kind of a step behind? You know what I mean? It's like you should be further up or closer to the keeper when you're receiving that ball, because there's a lot of gap. There was a lot of gap there, and you think, what? I mean, even Raya should not be doing this, but even Zubimendi as a player, it's like, if this is what you do, then please go do it closer to the keeper. But I can understand why you put him in the average. I really can. And
what was his stats, by the way?
So his stats, let me have a look at his stats real quick. Zubimendi, here we go. So he got a 7.3. Again, ratings are irrelevant, but he got a 7.3. No shots. He had 94 touches, by the way. 94 touches, 90% passing, and 90% passing in the final third. And yeah, I mean, defensively, 10 duels, won 3 out of 5 aerials, won 4 out of 5 ground duels. So overall, 5 clearances. Not a bad game, but again, nothing.
I just thought he was quite poor to average personally. What I saw of the eye test, I thought he might have been guilty for giving the ball away a couple of straight passes. You know, he only got 6 out of 10 out on Sky, but you know, I'm just going on the eye test, and it wasn't his best game. He was great against Villa. I thought he was man of the match, one of the man of the matches against Villa. But yeah, I just think he doesn't. Whether that's because Rice is more dominant, because Rice didn't play against Villa, and Zubimendi kind of came to the fore, whether it was a different positioning, I don't know, but he just didn't play as well as what he did against Villa. But he might have been tired, who knows, because he has played every game. So
that's fair. I mean, look, Zubimendi is sort of interchangeable with Rice if Rice is not playing. You know, if he will play in that more advanced position, and again, that's what we saw against Villa. But in this match, I feel like the DM role that he does, I thought he did it well enough, like I said, efficiently enough. But yeah, there was definitely a couple of mistakes in there where you think, don't know about that, mate. But yeah, definitely in the average, I wouldn't put him in the poor, to be honest with you. Any other players for you in the average?
No, I've gone 4 in the good.
4 in the good. Wow.
4 in good.
Okay, all right.
I'll tell you them and then we'll discuss them.
Yeah,
and
please.
You can tell me yours and discuss. So good, I've gone for the Yock for obviously his contribution in overall. I've gone for Timber. I've gone for Nonny, Raya, and Gabby. Sorry, I put Raya in there as opposed to putting him at the back because I was writing out my formation. But yeah, so big Gabby, Yock, Timber, Nonny, and Raya. They were my good players.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Sorry, I will add one more in the average, by the way, in Capia. I didn't think he had a very good game.
I thought he was very good.
Do you think?
I know. I did. I thought he was. I think he is the unsung hero in the back line.
Do you think?
Seriously? Yeah. I think if Calafiori was playing, he's quick, he's aggressive, he's a bit like the Yock. He puts his heart on. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's playing for the shirt really, because he wants, and I think he's well deserved. I don't think Calafiori would have stood any chance against Semenyo because he's quick. Don't forget Nkapia, he's quicker than Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's positionally very good. I just think he's very unsung, and I personally think that he's a starter when Calafiori comes back. And it's a nice rotation to have.
Yeah.
I do think he's actually he's got that left back position sewn up personally.
Look, he's a good player and he's been very good for us. But I just feel like
he got a 7 on the Sky, by the way. He was 3rd behind Rice and Odegaard. But yeah, it's personal, isn't it?
For me, in terms of the eye test, there was a couple of moments where again he stood out, where it's like not in a good way, where you think, right, well, you can't really go in that hard on a tackle, or there was a moment where he sort of misjudged a pass that was coming, obviously in his position, left back, and you think you're not even close to your position right now. And again, he was sort of pointing. I can't remember who he was pointing at, but he was pointing at them to go to left back, and you think, well, in Capia, that is literally where you need to be. You need to be in that position right now. And I don't know. There was moments where I thought it wasn't like a poor game or anything like that. It's not like he made any major mistakes, but I just don't think it was his best match. Do you know what I mean? And I think, look, as much as far as his left back being sewn up, yeah, I can understand that argument. But I still think Calafiori has been way better in the left back position for us this season, especially.
I don't know, but yeah, it's your eye test. I think just personally, with probably what you were saying, but the first half they were all over us like a rash, and even Declan Rice and I think Merson was saying it in the commentary. First half they didn't give it, and that's what caused obviously Gabriel's the error, because they were pushing, they pressured so much they didn't give any chance to look up and play the ball. The second half it changed slightly because they're tired, but I do think the first half, I think there was a lot of mistakes from every player. Virtually,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because of the way they were pressing.
Of course. And again, by the way, even though we put Martinelli in the poor and Cappier in the average for me. It's not like they didn't have any. They weren't the reason why we conceded 2 goals. You know what I mean? Like, I would never say Nkapia was at fault, obviously, for any of the goals, really. But it just, again, when it comes to the eye test, I just don't feel like he did much to stand out for me. But yeah, that's why I put him in the average, to be honest. I could probably even put Saliba in there. And
I had Saliba in the very good, personally.
And again, it's what we've always said, you know, he's very good at what he does, and maybe that's why we're sort of used to it now. It's like he didn't really do much to start. I mean, against Evanilson, I felt like he got his payback from last season when he got sent off for no reason whatsoever. But I did think he owned Evanilson for sure. But again, did he do any sort of anything exciting or over and above sort of thing? I don't think he did. I thought he was average, but not in a bad way, right? Like, not in a, that guy's fucking shit.
Exactly.
So yeah, go on.
I think Saliba, he's the Virgil van Dijk Rolls Royce, kind of no fluster. He doesn't get panicked. He's very calm, cool on the ball. He's probably a cross between Van Dijk and Konate in a way. A very, very similar combination, I think. You know, Van Dijk's coolness and
Konate's
like
a bit
you say,
shit,
Van Dijk
really.
never tries, does he? Van Dijk never looks like he's trying, if you know what I mean. But he's very calm and he obviously seems to be in the right position. But yeah, I think Saliba is probably the best centre half in the Premiership at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with that. And again, I'm not hearing any of this of fucking Van Dijk is the best. Like, they need to stop this, because Van Dijk this season, or for the last couple of seasons, you know, he's the defender who backs up. And it's like, whereas Saliba actually goes into tackles and he will literally push a player off and put his foot in there and chase back. He's quick as well for his size.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
But like I said,
deceptively quick, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. When he sort of gallops, it's kind of like Rice. Rice doesn't seem quick, but once he gets going, he picks up momentum. So,
absolutely.
But yeah, for me, Saliba, I'll probably put him in the average, same as Nkapia, but no real, no real reason to that. It's just I felt like they did their job well, but nothing over and above. Yeah, go on. Sorry. So you had in your good?
I had in the good. I had Gabby, the York, Timber, Nonny.
Yeah, I think for me, Nonny would probably end up in the great, because I thought he had a fantastic match. He really, really did. I'll agree with York and Gabby being good, because obviously Gabby had his mistake at the beginning, but then he made up for it. So that kind of balanced it out. And then for the rest of the match, he was a very good defender. So I can understand good for Gyökeres and Gabby, but for me, Nonny was a little bit higher than that. Just a tiny little bit.
How long did he play? I think I would have given Nonny a grey if he'd have played the full game, but I think because he come off after, was it
67th, 67th minute. They all three of them came off, didn't they?
That's why I think I kept him just in the good.
That's fair. Again, from like you said, going from the eye test, just what he provided for us was so exciting to watch, to be honest, and again, it paid off.
Loved what he did. Yeah,
it paid off. It really did. So in my good, well, to be honest, in my good, I think I'll agree with you in Gyökeres and Gabriel, but my greats, probably Madueke, Timber in there as well, and
really?
Odegaard. Yeah, I thought they had a very good game. That trio down the right hand side. I thought they were good. Timber, again, he's just a very, very solid player, man. Like, honestly, I dare any player to push him off the ball, by the way, because you can't. You cannot push that guy off the ball. Like, he will not go down. He's like a Russian doll, you know, the ones that sort of bounce back. Literally what he's like. He will not have any of it. So I think, again, that trio down the right, probably in the great for this match. But again, I don't know. What do you think for your greats?
Yeah, I think I've gone Timber good. I've gone very good, obviously, Odegaard, Saliba and Nkapia. That was for me. I thought Odegaard, he is coming to the to the peak of his game, really. I think, like you say, a few seasons ago, this is what he was playing like. His through balls, his vision, his tenacity, his chasing down, everything about Odegaard the last 3 games has been exactly what I've wanted. Whether he's stepping up to it because he can sense Rice is now stepping up to the plate and he's got to raise his game, and he's got Eze obviously waiting in the wings potentially, I don't know, but yeah, I thought Odegaard was just one below Rice for man of the match personally, but yeah, great through balls, great vision down that right, excellent, really excellent in midfield, and it's just nice to see, Rice, Zubimendi, and Odegaard, that three that we've always liked and always wanted to play. When they're on the game, I don't think there's many better than them three.
Yeah. Especially, like you said, especially down that side of play. But yeah, again, I will agree with you. Odegaard one step away from man of the match, but unfortunately, Rice was the guy who. Yeah, he's the guy yet again. By the way, right? That's like 3 matches in a row for us where he's been man of the match.
Villa one, yeah, but he didn't play Villa, did he?
Yeah, apart from so
Brighton.
Before, Brighton again.
Everton,
I thought
was it?
Yeah. So he was the guy. But yeah, look, I'm just glad that Odegaard is bringing his A game or close to his A game, like a B+ game or A-, whatever he's bringing. But I really like that. Again, it's this time of year where they're firing, because usually by this time of year, like, we're on a downward spiral. I haven't had that much sleep. I'm sorry, by the way, for the can't even use my English.
It's in the air.
Can't even use my English.
We've been speaking like gobbledygook all week. So in the air.
It is, and I think because work starts again tomorrow, so we'll have to get ourselves back into work mode. But yeah, so look, there's no real surprise for man of the match. I knew exactly who you were going to say, and I'm glad that you're sort of in agreement about Odegaard as well. And this should be. This should be proof, really, that even though you especially have slated Odegaard at the beginning of the season,
yes,
you have changed your mind, especially in the last couple of matches. I don't want to say change your mind, forever, but in the last couple of matches, you are man enough to praise him, right?
Yes,
and this is
and we will do if Saka comes good.
That's exactly what I want to say. We praised him this match when he came on. He had a very good pass. Yeah. We're not taking that away from him. He can be dangerous. We just need to see it more consistently. So yeah, it should be proof of that. But Stevie, anything else you want to add from the match, by the way, before we move it on and wrap it up?
Subs. So I thought Marino again. I don't want to see him anywhere near the team because he's a wasted player. He is pathetic
in that Odegaard role as well. I mean, where's Eze, man? Where's Eze?
No, I mean, even Norgard, I would have rather seen. Yeah. I mean, Norgard plays more defensively.
That's fine.
But Marino's useless. Seriously.
You push up Zubimendi if you put in Norgard. Do you know what I mean? Which is also fine. Like we are happy with that. Just please do not put Marino on. All right, he's the guy.
Is it because he's
Spanish?
Is it because he's got this Spanish kind of link? Because he's called Mikel. He's from Spain. The Zubimendi thing. Is it because it's this affinity with fellow countrymen? You don't know, do you? It's kind of
hope not.
Is it it shouldn't be, because he shouldn't be anywhere near the Arsenal team. And I know he didn't start, which is a bonus. But for him to come on over and above Norgard or Eze,
yeah, that's the worrying part. That's the worry. It's not like Marino came on for Zubimendi in that role. He came off for Odegaard. I know. Yeah, it's kind of worrying, and I agree with you. 80th minute, that's a wasted player as far as I'm concerned. If you put him on the 89th or 90th minute at a time, fine, whatever. Just to pass time. But 80th minute, there's still plenty of a match to play, man. Still 10-15 minutes at the very minimum to play. So, yeah, wasted player. I don't really want to see him in the team or in the roles that he's been playing anyway in the midfield. I don't want to see him there.
Yeah, I don't see that, because Bournemouth are a very technical, rapid kind of team. I could understand if it was against, I don't know, Everton or Brentford, where they lump balls into the box and they want to protect the aerial threat. But it wasn't. It was just played around you on the floor, and he is not good enough for that because he's too slow. It's proven that he just falls over. He's weak, and I just don't want to see him anywhere near the Arsenal first team. And I think if he does come on, if we're against Liverpool and we're doing all right, we're 2-0 or whatever, I don't want to see him coming on. I want to see Eze come on. I want to see someone there who think, right, it's another threat. Because as soon as we put a negative defensive-minded player on, the opposition thinks, right, let's go for it.
Yeah, he's the guy to target, really, and especially his lack of pace. Yeah. It's easy to overrun.
And it's the same with Gyökeres comes off, right, they've got no threat up front. Yeah. We can go for it now because they're not going to get out. Well, come on.
Yeah, think about it, right? Yeah, think about it. And the fact that, again, when Gyökeres comes off, and Jesus, luckily we've got Jesus back, by the way, because it would have been Marino, and again, people don't take him seriously even though he was scoring. But yeah, for me, in the positions that he's been coming on, I don't really want to see much of him To be honest, I want to see some, like, you know, I want to see some better players coming on, but yeah, which actually leads us. Well, you know what? Hold on, who else came on here? Let's have a look.
Trossard, Jesus.
Obviously, he had that opportunity where he got taken down. It's like, right, that should have been a foul, but you know, something could have come from that, maybe. Saka, yeah, he came on. He did what he needed to do. I thought, he just sort of. The good thing about Saka is that when he comes on, he will just sort of step in. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't need time to warm up or whatever. He'll just step in and he'll do something. And as he proved that as well.
It's a fantastic right wing. We've got right-sided attack, haven't we? When them two are fit, I think it's brilliant. The fact that one can come on and the other one can go off, and there's no drop off. It's actually like, wow, we've got Madueke on, and he's fantastic. And now, shit, look at who we've got coming on. We've got Saka. It's like great, really, isn't it? It's such a nice option to have, should I say? The left side's a bit weaker, obviously, but.
Yes. Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so this is where, you know, things.
This is where January. Luckily, you know, there's in January they have this thing called the transfer window. So I'm hoping someone will click on and realise.
There's talk of. I don't know. Which I take things in January with a pinch of salt. But there's talk of they put a bid in for Rodrigo. I mean, fantastic if we could get him. There's talk of Goetz? Is it Goetz? It was a Bayern Munich midfielder. Don't
be like Mario Götze, because Mario Götze is like in his 40s, man.
Someone plays for Bayern anyway, begin with a G, and he's a midfielder. He's maybe 32-ish. It's like as a
great
stopgap.
Fantastic, yes. Bring in more old players.
Yes. I think it was just kind of cover for Big Deck.
Jesus.
But I do think we do need cover for Declan Rice, because I don't like Marino personally.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, Norgard kind of will slot into that Zubimendi role, then hopefully Zubimendi can do what Rice does. But yeah, the power and the size of Rice is just, you know, it's everything. He's a whole package, really. You know, it's not about one thing. Yeah, he's a whole package. So right, okay, just before we do sign off, then we've got Liverpool as our next match, which is when? Thursday, yeah, the only match on Thursday. And okay, tell me real quick, who do you want to see? I know who you don't want to see, but who do you want to see?
Listen, if they're...
We're at home as
there's
well.
Talk that... Sorry, say that again.
We're at home as well, so...
Yeah. There's talk that Ekitike could be out, which is an absolute massive bonus, because he didn't play today. Did you see Reed's goal, by the way? I don't know if you...
I did not.
Did you see the Fulham game?
No, I was watching the other match. Manu, no. Yeah, one of
Tottenham.
Tottenham. I was watching Tottenham.
Anyway, I mean, I watched the first half at the Outlaws at Fulham Liverpool, and they were 1-0 up, and I said to the father-in-law, we left at half time, I said, Liverpool are going to come back and win this. And obviously it was a mile offside Wirtz's goal, by the way. Well, not a mile offside, but you could clearly see it with the eye. He didn't need to draw any lines, and it was a mile offside. But if you look at it on Match of the Day, wherever, you'll see the colour of the grass and everything, he was offside, but they give it because Liverpool. And then Gakpo, I was watching, I was making tea, and I had it on my phone, and I could see 1-1, 95th minute, 1-1. And then I clicked on it, and it went, and Liverpool have stole it. They've got 3 points at the death, and I was like, you fucking bastards, they're lucky twats. I mean, I know they're not really a threat, but it's nice to keep them as far back as possible. I don't want them to get any momentum. And then I turned it off, and then I turned it back on again, and it said wow on the sky, and I was like, what? So I told my son, I put it on the TV, and it just caught his strike going in, and I was like, Jesus Christ, honestly, it's goal of the season. Seriously, goalless. He hasn't scored for like 4 years or something stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we only see it, and it's well worthy to just have a look and just to see the Liverpool heads and everything. I thought, yeah, and I think that's great for obviously for us when we play Liverpool next week, because I think they're going to be like on a bit of a downer. Whether Slot will still be there, I don't know, but I think they've got a couple of injuries. They're not firing, but it is Liverpool at the end of the day, isn't it, mate? And we all know.
Yeah.
You know, we want to get revenge for that 1-0 win at Anfield early in the season. I'm hoping we can do it. I can't see us losing, but it's a toss of the coin, that one, mate. Are they as good as Villa? No,
I don't think so. But
Villa were probably running out of steam when they played us, and you know, the Villa could have actually been 1 or 2 up. by the time we scored. But
yeah, hey, look, say whatever, but we won that game, and fucking Emery and Emi Martinez all the way to fucking Birmingham.
Fucking twat.
But so with Liverpool, it's always a tricky game. It doesn't matter how much of a dip Liverpool have been on, because they sort of magically turn it on against us. But I think Salah's off as well, isn't he? Isn't he at AFCON or something?
Still at the African Cup of Nations,
so
isn't he?
That's always good for us. The rest of the team I don't really rate that much, to be honest. Ekitike, I know they make a big deal out of it. I don't think he's that guy, to be honest with you. Wirtz, he's proven that he's not that guy. Isak's been injured since fucking God knows when.
To the year 1000.
Yeah, so screw that guy as well, by the way. And honestly, I'm glad that it happened to Isak, because the way that he left Newcastle.
Absolutely. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Yes, I agree. We'll watch Match of the Day later, by the way, because obviously there's been quite a few matches on today, and I only chose Tottenham because it was just more convenient, and I wanted to see Xhaka slap Tottenham about, but he didn't, so still a draw.
The draw, yes.
I like you. Don't want to see Mourinho. I want to see Eze be part of the team. And look, even if we have the same lineup as we did yesterday against Bournemouth, I'm still happy with that, to be honest with you.
Yes.
Potentially Trossard over Martinelli, though. I think that's probably that's fair, isn't it? And obviously Saka will always be above Nonny, but that doesn't mean that Nonny can't come on the 67th minute like Saka did. There's always that option as well. And I really hope against Liverpool, Arteta, turns on his fucking brain cells to be like, right, I can make changes here. I don't need Saka for the full 90 minutes if he's not doing well. If he's scoring a fucking hat-trick or, has 3 assists, then whatever, right? Then you've got the option to keep him on or just take him off or whatever. But if he's not performing, don't be like, oh, he'll do something. Just fucking take him off. Just take the guy off, and, there's other players that can come on. So I think for me, I just want to see potentially Trossard, but even if we have the same lineup, I'll be happy with that. Backline, midfield, all of it. I was happy with it. Just again, it was just more surprised that I didn't see Saka. I saw Nonny above him, but that's what I want to see against Liverpool. Any predictions, by the way? Do you want to give us a prediction? Not what you want, obviously, because we all want to win, but what do you think is going to happen? With an educated guess, because we are educated people, reporters, journalists, pundits, all of it.
Do you know, I don't know if you can remember what I said against the Villa. I said it could be 4-0. I said it could be 1-0, it could be 2-1. It could be anything, couldn't it? I feel a bit similar with the Liverpool game, but I'm fancying a 2-0 us. I don't know why. I don't really think they can score unless it's from a set piece corner kind of thing, because they are pretty good at corners.
The irony, by the way, the irony of all these teams saying we're set piece FC, but all of them have increased their set piece goals. It's funny, it's hilarious. But go on, please.
I'm going to stick my my neck out and say I think we're going to win 2-0. I just want any win. I don't care, but I'll say 2-0 for now, just for the newspapers.
Love it. I was going to go 4-2, to be honest, just for the crack, but to us, obviously.
Absolutely, I like it.
To us, of
6-5.
Fuck it, 17-0, mate. But 2-0 to be. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the 1-0. I don't care. I just need the 3 points at this point.
Just 3 points. That's all that matters. Isn't it?
That's all that matters to us. So, but yeah. All right, Stevie, I'll tell you what, we've gone on for our normal times, by the way. Like, we never time these. It's not like, people out there going, oh, you always have like an hour and a half. No, it's just the conversation. It's just what happens.
The way it flows.
This is what happens.
What do you think quickly on Ranieri? Where do you think he's going, basically? Do you like the fact that he's not getting a game? I mean, Eze's not playing at all, to be fair.
We did discuss this last episode, didn't we? And you did ask me about Nwaneri and how I felt about him going on loan. And do you know what? I'm happy with that. And again, if he goes to a team that will play him, like a Bournemouth, for Semenyo, yes, please. Bournemouth's a good team. Andoni Iraola is a very good manager. If he says I will have space for Nwaneri to come in and be a starter for me, or more than Arsenal, then please bring him, take him on loan, half a season, full season, whatever it is, just as long as he gets the game time, because there's no point in him going to Bournemouth and sitting on the bench, right? He can just do that at Arsenal, so there's no point in that. But what a good coach, and if that is the case, that could be a good relationship that Arteta and Iraola can have with each other. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I know you like my player. You can have him on loan for 6 months, but I need you to play him, and vice versa, or whatever. And then if a Semenyo-esque player comes back up for sale for Bournemouth, we can go in there and buy him potentially. So yeah, I want to see him go on loan. If that's an option, please take him on loan.
Yeah, because he's stagnating at the moment, isn't he? He's not getting his game. I know there's the FA Cup. They might say to him, look, you've got the FA Cup, you've got the Carabao Cup, you've got, we've got Champions League, we've got potential injuries, and, who knows? But if he's thinking to himself, look, I'm okay, I'll stay on the bench and I'll bide my time, or do I go out? I mean, I like him, I really rate him. I just think he's had something's happened, and whether he spat his dummy out at training, whether him and Miles, because Miles Scully's not really getting his game, is he? They both seem to have sort of fallen down the pecking order, don't they? So I'm just thinking, are they a bit immature? Has Arteta had a word with them? Have they not been pulling the weight? You don't know, because obviously I think Nwaneri's got more potential than Miles Scully personally. I think Miles Scully's kind of dropped off, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I can understand why Miles is not getting much game time, because the game time that he has gotten, he hasn't really been, shining. So I'm not really that surprised. But with Nwaneri, every time he's come on, he's done good enough. And it's not his fault that he's come into a team where it's missing an Odegaard or a Saka or an Eze or whatever, or a Declan Rice. You can't blame him. He's not going to take the whole team on his shoulders for that. So if he goes on loan, it has to be to a good enough team in the Premier League that will play him.
His strengths,
that will play him at least for the next sort of, there's 19 matches, 19 weeks. So at least for 10 of those weeks, if he can manage to get some consistent game time, then it's the best thing he can do, because I can't see Arteta getting rid of Nwaneri as in like selling him permanently. So if you can't get the game time, send him on loan, let him get the experience, and then done. That's it. So
what would you sell it if someone came in with an offer? Would you sell him?
No, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I don't think he's proven much at Arsenal yet. So I don't think it's fair to sell him.
Would you not think if someone came in and said, look, there's 60 million, we can see the potential in him, take it or leave it? Would you think Arteta would sell him?
If it's 60 million and he's going to what, Germany or something, or like France?
I'd sell him, but I wouldn't. The thing is, though, it could be one of those Gnabry type things where they come back to bite you in the arse, because he was a good player, Gnabry, wasn't he?
He was a good player, but then you have to ask yourself, he was a good player in a Bayern team that was winning everything, and in a league that's just so poor.
True.
Same as Harry Kane, shit, man. Like, everyone's like, oh, well, he won something. Yeah, he went to the cheapest
fucking
league.
Farmers League.
To the cheapest league to win a fucking cheap trophy. So
he should have went to Celtic, shouldn't he?
Just it's the same prestige. It's the Bundesliga, for God's sake.
It's true, it is.
Honestly.
It's true.
So it was for me, Nwaneri. If that sort of offer comes in, then of course you have to pull the trigger on it, because he's still young, and it's a massive if he's going to be good or not. Do you know what I mean? Because potential and end product is two different things. So if an offer like that, ludicrous offer comes in like that, then you just snap the hands up. We're like, thank you very much. See you later, Ethan. You've been great. 60 million in the pocket, let's reinforce. But I don't think that's going to happen, and I wouldn't really sell him for like 20 mil or something. It's not worth the money to sell him, where he could literally be a fantastic player. So on loan to a good team in the Premier League who will play him. And again, if it's someone like Bournemouth with a very good coach, brilliant. Definitely, it's not going to be Tottenham. Even though I respect Thomas Frank, I don't think it's going to be a Tottenham loan or anything like that. So that's never going to happen. But a Bournemouth, maybe a Fulham, they usually take out players. A Crystal Palace, they usually take out players. So that's fine. But they've got some decent coaches. You know what I mean? They're a decent.
Do you know where
team.
I'd like to see him? I don't think you'll get a game there, but I'd like to see him at Everton, just under Moyes, because obviously the Arteta Everton link, I do think that he would be a great addition to Everton.
That's a good shout, Stevie, by the way. Like that, I like that. Do you know what? Yeah, okay, I hope it's Everton.
Get on the phone to Moyes now.
Moyes, he's listening.
Let's get him on the show next week.
He's listening to this, though. We don't need to call him. He knows. As soon as he listens to this, he's like, I know what I need to do, lads. But it's all right, Moyes. David, don't worry. You can take the credit for it. We won't out you like that. But yeah. Okay, look, Stevie, we will leave it there because an hour and a half, and we'll get this out for tomorrow morning for people to listen to. And thank you so much for being here. we will catch you on the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay alert, and have Okay, I was going to say have a Happy New Year, but I've just ruined that, so let's just move on.
Au revoir. Oui. Si, si. Arrivederci.
And the buonanotte. All right, we're going.
Goodbye.